Morning, this is Proac Sam from Living and Working Abroad. You can follow us at our website at proacpartnership.com or on Facebook, Living and Working Abroad, as well as on Twitter. We've had a question come in. Can I still get a yellow slip residency permit in Cyprus if I arrive in Cyprus after Brexit Day in May 2019? A very interesting question, and basically we don't know, but what we do know is some certainties. We've got a guide that a free guide that you can download at our website at proacpartnership.com on how EU Brexit for expats affects overseas property, business and pensions. But the answer to this question, we need to look at the history of the EU, UK and Cyprus. Now Cyprus has an ID scheme which the UK doesn't. So people that want to live in Cyprus and work in Cyprus have to have an ID number, a residency number. If you're a Cyprus citizen, you're born and your birth certificate number becomes your ID number, your tax number, your driving license number, the whole shebang. People before Cyprus joined the EU in 2004, then there were temporary residency visas called pink slips, and these lasted up to 5 years. So a British expat would typically have to have some income to qualify for a 5-year pink slip and then renew that every 5 years. Cyprus joined the EU in 2004. After that, then everything changed in Cyprus. They went from being outside the EU to inside the EU and joining the Euro. So there's massive changes for business, for individuals, for family, and for people travelling to and from Cyprus. The world did not stop. The economy did not crash. Life as we know it didn't come to an end. It progressed and it moved on, pretty much like Brexit in the UK. There's a lot of hot air around the final decision, but what are the facts? So the facts are that the UK introduced, rather than the pink slip, a yellow residency permit for EU citizens. EU citizens have got a free right of movement around the EU to move themselves, their capital, their trade, or their service around the EU. Now that's generally the principle. There are some obstacles along the way, but that's the situation that there is. So EU expats can move to the UK. There's no ID scheme in the UK, and so they can freely look for work, find accommodation, live there, and enjoy health and welfare and social security arrangements as well. What the UK have guaranteed with no deal Brexit is that all those EU expats living in the UK by Brexit Day in March the 29th will be able to remain in the UK for up to the rest of their lives and their family with them if they're in the UK by the 29th of March. Even if their family's not with them on the 29th of March, their family can join later. So it just needs the economically active person to be in the UK, living and working, or maybe as a student. They don't have to be working as long as they're not dependent on the state. As long as they're in the UK before the 29th of March, they can stay there. The UK government have guaranteed that in the event of no deal Brexit. So with or without that is an option that they have. Now that's not been guaranteed and written down and reciprocated by individual EU countries, which are constrained by the negotiating position of the EU Commission. But what we know about Cyprus is that while a UK expat is an EU citizen, they've got the right to come here and get the EU yellow slip, the residency permit, which it has some requirements, but they're not onerous. But if the UK leaves with no deal Brexit, then we don't know what the situation will be after the 29th of March, because technically British people will no longer be EU citizens. If there's a withdrawal treaty signed, then the withdrawal treaty allows for nothing to change until the end of December 2020. So if the withdrawal treaty goes ahead, then yes, a UK expat can come to the Cyprus or any other EU country after Brexit date, before December 2020, and register to live and work as an EU citizen. And you would hope, rather than having the absolute confirmation, that that country would reciprocate the UK's arrangements to honour any residency commitment and lifestyle choices that UK expats relocating to that other country have made. Because just like in Cyprus, the expats, the UK expats, were living and working in that EU country, be it Spain, France, Portugal, Cyprus, before Brexit, and there's no reason why they can't do it after Brexit, because like in the UK, in Cyprus, Germany, many other countries, there are many people from outside the EU who live and work in these countries, be they Americans, Canadians, Africans, or Asians. So people can still migrate and move around with slightly different rules. And those rules in Cyprus, we know them with certainty. So a no-deal Brexit gives you certainty. So what a UK expat wanting to live and work in Cyprus or the EU knows is what the rules are. Now in Cyprus, what that means is that you have the right to come and get a pink slip, the temporary residency visa, which would last up to 5 years. You have to prove income. So for Cyprus, you have to have 15,000 euros a year income from a job, or have a business set up which is generating you income. You can get residency by investments as well, but then you're talking about major investments, 2.5 million or more, or being just a financially wealthy person. You would need to have in excess of 300,000 just capital cash invested. So there are plenty of options for people to still come and live and work in Cyprus after Brexit date, with or with no deal, but it is different and it is slightly more onerous. You can get more details from that from Product Partnership at our website, productpartnership.com, or you can ask us a question at our Living and Working Abroad page on Facebook, and we'll help and try and guide you, and maybe next time we can feature your question in our vlog. So in summary, after Brexit date, if there's a withdrawal treaty, nothing changes until the end of December 2020. If there's a no-deal Brexit, then everything changes on the 29th of March. The UK have guaranteed EU expats the same rights as they have at the moment. Nothing will change for EU expats in the UK, even if there's no deal Brexit, and they can apply for settled status to live in the UK for the rest of their lives, with or without the family. So other EU countries haven't promised that, but Cyprus is very accommodating, allowing UK expats to apply for this permanent status now, and there will still be a residency system in Cyprus after that date to take advantage of EU citizenship rights. Then any expat wanting to live and work in the UK should be in the UK by the 29th of March, and any UK expat should register themselves as being here in the UK, even if it takes a few more months for their transition and lifestyle change to move. They should establish their base here by the 29th of March. Hope that helps. We'll see you next time. Follow us on Twitter, on our Living and Working Abroad page on Facebook, and our blog, productpartnership.com, and then we'll see you next time. Oh, big shout out. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Living and Working Abroad, and we'll see you next time. Thanks very much.